Welcome to my detailed overview of the BBK direct replacement fuel pump available for your 2001 to 2004 V6, GT, and Mach 1, and all 2001 Cobras. So plain and simple, the BBK direct replacement fuel pump should appeal to the new edge owners out there looking to replace a faulty or broken fuel pump on your 01 to 04 new edge, or maybe for the guys out there looking for a bigger fuel pump to fuel a bigger build, such as your forced induction, or maybe even your nitrous applications. Now with that in mind, the BBK option is capable of cranking out 300 liters per hour for the capacity here, which is more than double that of the stock fuel pump. So needless to say, this thing can support some pretty big builds. Upwards of 500 wheels should be no issue at all for the BBK upgrade. Because this thing is complete, it is a turnkey option, expect to be spending a little bit more on the BBK when compared to a standalone fuel pump that you might find here at AM. Upwards of just north of 300 bucks is what you can expect to spend for this particular unit. Install will get a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me, as the tank does need to come down, but I will have a little bit more detail on that later on. So why do you need to replace your fuel pump in the first place? Well, like we already talked about, maybe it's on the way out or it's already failed on you, therefore you need to replace it to get the car up and running again. How do you know if your fuel pump is failing? Well, rough idle is usually a biggie, maybe a misfire under a load, or the car will just flat out not start. So if you've narrowed it down to the fuel pump in your new edge, you've done some voltage tests, things like that, and you've determined the fuel pump, well, now it's time to replace it. But what if the factory fuel pump in your new edge is working just fine? Well, then chances are you're looking to upgrade to support a bigger build. More power usually means more fuel, and that is the case here. And the factory fuel pump just cannot keep up when builds exceed a certain power level. And some options that are popular with these new edge cars include the SVT Focus fuel pump, or maybe even a Walbro 255 pump, both of which I have seen a lot of guys use, but both of which are smaller than the BBK option that we have here. Again, 300 liters per hour is what this puppy is rated at. Now sure, a fuel pump is simply one part of the fueling equation. You have lines, injectors, rails, filters, and more, but it really all starts with the pump, because ultimately if the injectors aren't getting enough fuel under hard acceleration, you can possibly encounter a lean situation. And despite the old adage, lean is mean, well, lean can also pop motors as well, and nobody wants that to happen. So long story short, guys, a good fuel system all starts with a good pump. Well, let's switch our focus back to the BBK option that we do have in this video, and complete is just the perfect way to sum this thing up. You're getting a new pump already buried inside the canister here, as you can see, plug and play wiring, new top hat equipped with a gasket, mind you, and you're even getting a new float as well. So turnkey in just every sense of the word. Now, if I were you guys, I'd probably add a new filter into the equation as well. We do sell the Motorcraft OE replacements for 15 bucks here on the site, or we can possibly even check out an aftermarket option if you'd like. Now, because this is a drop-in replacement for most 01 to 04 cars out there, expect no crazy modification, no wiring, or anything like that. Now, if you have a 1999 or 2000 new edge and you're feeling a little left out, well, don't, guys. BBK offers a nearly identical setup for you, same price, same capacity, and you can grab that on the site as well. Switching gears, let's get into the installation, and as I mentioned briefly at the top of this video, I did go soft 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. We say the same thing on the product page, and anywhere from a few hours to a half a day, depending on your level of expertise. The hardest part of this install will be dropping the tank on your new edge Mustang. Everything else is completely plug and play. Now, we're not gonna go step by step, but instead just a couple of things to consider. Obviously, that tank needs to come down like we just mentioned, so therefore expect to get the rear of the car up in the air slightly, or if you have a lift, that will certainly be beneficial as well. You're not gonna need a bunch of tools here for this one, guys, mainly a socket set, some pliers to help you with some of those lines, but everything else, again, because of the wiring that BBK includes, is very simple, very much plug and play. At the end of the day, if you're not really confident with this one, you don't feel like messing with that tank or anything like that, your local shop should be able to bang this one out for you without issue. Wrapping things up, guys, the BBK option for just north of 300 bucks will be a solid OE replacement or upgrade for those big power builds out there, and you can grab yours right here at AmericanMuscle.com.